Hello, listeners. Today, we are going to talk on the topic the paints industry. So, what is exactly going on with the paints industry? So, the paint industry in India is a major part of the economy. As you all know, it goes beyond simply adding color to our walls, it reflects the health of the economy. Think of it like this: when people are spending on home improvements, for example, on the painting, it often shows they feel financially secure. But when they hold off on these expenses, it can indicate that there is a caution or concerns about the future, because these are certain expenses, the paint, which the persons do when they find that they have the income and they can dispose it off or they can spend it on painting their homes. Recently, some of the biggest paint companies in India, for example, Asian Paints, Berger Paints, Exxon Noble, and Kansai Narolak, shared their quarterly earning reports. We are highlighting them today because they shed light on both the opportunities as well as the challenges shaping this market. So let's break down the key trends driving the paint sector in India right now so that we can get the insights what exactly comprises the paint industry and how the earnings are affected. First of all, first up is the impact of the monsoon on demand. In India, the monsoon season plays a significant role in the paints industry, especially in the rural areas. Painting projects typically start once the rain ends, as damp walls can affect the paint adhesion, drying times, and durability. Dry weather ensures a smoother and a longer lasting finish, making it the ideal time for painting. Don't confuse this video as the painting classes, but this is some of the key ingredients or the key points which we need to see about the paint industry. This year, in 2024, however, the monsoon lasted longer than the usual. This delay pushed back many projects, particularly in the rural as well as in the semi urban areas, where there's high demand for decorative paints. With less time left to hit their annual sales targets, this delay could impact the industry's overall performance for the year. Next, let's talk about the different demand trends in urban as well as in the rural areas. There's an interesting contrast between the two. Demand has stayed fairly steady in the rural regions, partly due to a good monsoon season boosting the farmers' incomes. On the flip side, city dwellers have been cutting back on non essential spendings like redecorating as they grapple with rising living cost. Usually, the festive season, especially Diwali, boosts the paint sales because the paint companies find their most of the business or the profits during the Diwali season when all the painters are busy painting the homes and the offices. But this year, urban consumers were more cautious with their spending, which has affected the earnings of the major paint companies. These companies often rely on the festive season to hit their targets and earn the profits because in the entire year, this is the time when they earn the maximum amount of profits. By the way, we went into more detail on the changing dynamics between the urban and rural demand. Also, we feel free to check that you have done the video and you have watched our video in which we have discussed how the rural demand is continuously coping with the urban demand. Moving on, the third factor we need to talk about is how the new competition is shaking up the paint market. Now, one of the biggest disruptions is the Grasim Industries stepping into the sector with its paint brand Birla Opus. Exactly, the Grasim Industries has entered into the paint segment with the name of Birla Opus, and it is backed by the Aditya Birla Group. So the Grasim Industries and the Birla companies, they would be disrupting the market in the same way as we have discussed that how the Air India would be disrupting the aviation industry. This is significant because they have made a massive investment of about 10,000 crores in the painting industry. With this backing, Birla Opus is offering high quality paints at very competitive prices, putting pressures on established market leaders like the Asian Paints. To keep their market share, companies like Asian Paints have started offering discount and rebates for their customers because, yes, this is the competition which was not thought of. But of course, this strategy is tracking to take a toll on their profit margin because more amount of rebates and discounts means that they are earning less amount of profits and distributing it to their consumers. Traditionally, brands like Asian Paints have held a premium spot in the market with little strong competition. But with a new player investing heavily, everyone is being forced to rethink their pricing strategies. This brings us to our fourth point, the move towards premium products. To counteract pricing pressures, established brands are shifting their focus to premium offerings, such as high end decorative paints and waterproofing solutions. These products are targeted at wealthier customers who are less affected by the inflation and willing to pay more for the better quality. And this way, the companies are introducing their luxury paints and the paints with the waterproofing and different categories. For example, Berger Paints has seen growth in its premium lines, and Asian Paints reports steady demand for its waterproofing and interior solutions. While premium products show promise, they still make up a small part of overall sales. So they won't completely shield companies from challenges in the mainstream market. To capture the potential demand as the monsoons affect fear of, companies like Berger Paints are also expanding their dealer network. The dealer network is basically a set of intermediaries which help these companies to distribute their products because these companies are not present everywhere. So for this reason, they expand their dealer network, the intermediaries who connect with the consumers to sell off the products. Now, by opening the more outlets, they can reach more customers in both the urban as well as rural areas, positioning themselves for a demand rebound. Because in the last videos also we have discussed that how the rural demand is quickly picking up and competing against the urban demand. The purchasing power which the rural area is now having is comparatively far ahead of the rural and urban combined. The rural area is demanding more as compared to the urban consumers. The fifth point we'd like to touch on is how companies are lending on industrial coatings for stability. While sales of decorative paints have been bumpy, industrial coatings are proving to be a more consistent source of income for the paint industry. These coatings are used in industries like the automotive and infrastructure, where ongoing projects provide the steady demand. So the companies such as Exo Nobel India and Kansai Nerolac have benefited from regular orders tied to large infrastructure projects like metro construction and the road building. Yes, when these companies are finding it difficult to sell off their product to their consumers, so yes, now they are bidding for the industries, wherein they are providing their paints to the metro companies and also to the infrastructure projects where the road building is done. So this way, they have kept up their demand by introducing their industries based dealers. Now, this demand from industrial clients helped them balance out some of the ups and downs in the decorative segment, offering a stable revenue stream even when the consumer demand fluctuates. Overall, India's paint industry is going through a traditional phase. The sector is juggling current challenges like the delayed monsoon. The main reason why, because of the delayed monsoon, they could not come up with the demand from the consumers and increase competition, the one which is Aditya Birla companies. So yes, the Birla company and Grasim Industries are continuously shaping the market trend, how the Asian Paints and Berger Paints were having the market share. Now, this might be taken by the Aditya Birla company. Now, with the end of the rainy season, companies are hopeful that delayed rural projects will pick up again, boosting the demand. However, the industry's future will also depend on the broader economic trends, the consumer confidence, the impact of inflation on the disposable incomes. The disposable income is basically the income which consumers spend it after savings. Now, so we have seen over here that the disposable income would be increasing, so then the consumer's demand would also increase, and how well established players adapt to a changing market. So next is basically that how this market would be working in the coming months. The performance of the paints industry will reflect not only how the companies had handled these pressures, but could also offer insights into the India's overall economic mood. So this way, we have completed our episode in which we have discussed what are the shapes which the paint industry is taking and the new competition, how will it be impacting the paints industry. If you have liked our video, do share it with your friends and do subscribe to our channel for more such insightful videos. Thank you.